got the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a New River thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders. He's got the spark, Big dog sports talk, lighten up the dark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark, feel the bite. Rick's in the zone, every day, every night, from the Hokies to the Highlanders.
Hey, good morning. How are you? After much bantering back and forth with everybody at your StreamYard, we got our old chat back. It's now on the screen again. Welcome. Everybody doing on a Wednesday. Travel day for yours truly. Be heading down to Boiling Springs here on this hump day. Yes, indeed. Radford Hoops tonight at 7 against Gardner Webb. Tech has SMU at 8, our time, tonight, in ACC action. Hit us up on the McClellan Chiropractic chat room and also the Professional Door text line, 540-391-0788. Thanks for all your texts throughout the day yesterday. Got a bunch of them. Hit me up. We'll need them, as I travel. Getting a little distracted, getting things ready here. So if all goes well, should get in tonight, I don't know, or early in the morning. About 1. Just hope I don't fall asleep on the way home. Gardner Webb not having a great year this year, Prometheus. They have been good. Tim Kraft did a magnificent job there for a decade. He's now the head coach at Western Carolina. Jeremy Luther took over. He was his associate head coach. Great guy. Jeremy's a great, great guy. But he knew this year was going to be tough. Of course, they had a lot of talent. and they had a lot of talent leave the program, so he has a bunch of new guys, and he's had just a boatload of injuries. At one time, they've had 4 starters out. So they're only 2-16, so they're struggling. Paul Porter Arena, I love the venue. It's a cool older gym. You know, Artis Gilmore and John Drew played at Gardner Webb before they were Division I. The Basketball Hall of Famer, Artis Gilmore. And they have his jersey up in the gym. It's a cool aesthetic in that gym. Boiling Springs, a very small town, but the university is beautiful. Campus is beautiful. Matter of fact, this is one of the places I like to get to a little early and just walk around campus. They have an awesome football facility, their softball facility, and they hosted the baseball tournament the first year that Radford won to go to the NCAA, 2015, and it is very nice. So they have really good folks down there, and I hate that Jeremy's having such a tough year. But if Radford plays their game, they should be okay tonight. I mean, this is just a struggling team right now, Gardner Webb. But yes, you're right. They've been very, very good. Matter of fact, they beat Radford. The Highlanders are going for back-to-back Big South championships. They came to Radford. That's when the venues were played in the Big South anyway, at the home sites of the regular season champs. And we had gone to the NCAA the previous year. The next year, I think the team was even a little better. And then Gardner Webb came up and just pounded Radford. From NRV and the strong voice pipes of Rick Watson to the listeners in Palm Coast, we all enjoy taking cynical insurance company swipes. BDST is live and online. But I do have roofing folks coming on Friday to see if I can get a decent estimate that falls under what I was quoted. Modern Day Roofing. I'm going to give them some props. They should sponsor the program. That's who I'm going with. Steve at the chamber gave me their name, so I gave them a call, and they're going to be here on Friday. But again, I have to wait on folks to come to my house. Good morning, Opal. How are you, First Lady of Chat? Hope you're well. But yeah, it's about a 3-hour drive. I don't worry about on the way down. I just worry about getting back because I get tired. I get very tired because you get amped up when you do a broadcast. So there you go. So that's later on today for me. I'll be out of commission most of the day. But hit me up. Y'all texting me and so forth. That'll keep me going. Good morning, Stephen. How are you, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Tired and grumpy. Yeah. Yeah, well, if you win, you come back and as long as you don't have any road issues, I'll be okay. I'll have some tunes going. Oh, that's terrible, TLB. My daughter was upset last night. A coworker at Chantel Parish in a bucket truck wreck. I believe he fell asleep. Yeah, I think that happens a lot more. And it doesn't even have to be like a deep sleep. If you just nod off and all of a sudden you're in trouble, man. Yeah. I lost a really close friend in high school because he had a problem with that. It was over Christmas break going our senior year. And we got the call that he was driving back from visiting his mom's, parents, and he fell asleep. Terrible. Hey, how you doing, Daniel? Daniel Barris, Sports Highlight. Happy Hump Day to you, too. Glad to have you back, man. Thank you. Please subscribe, like, and share our channel. Kion Brown joins us coming up here in just a little bit. We'll talk some college hoops. Big chance for Tech tonight to make a statement against a good SMU team. We'll see how now that they've announced that Toby Lawal will likely start. He's back now in starting mode. So big game for them tonight. Damien Sordelett will join us. We'll talk more portal musings. And no, all of you in chat, it didn't happen last night. No Ethan Gruckmeyer commitment that has been posted yet. And then Donny Lind joins us. We haven't talked to Coach Lind in a while, the head basketball coach at Mount St. Mary's. Get an update on their season. Now they're in conference play, now that we've turned the calendar over. And we always love our conversations with Coach Lind. Paul says, if Opal is the first lady of chat, is Wayne the old man? Yes, he is. He's the old angry Browns fan. By the way, from our lips to God's ears, yesterday we said, we were asked directly, what did I think was going to happen to Mike Tomlin? And I said, well, I feel like he's probably done in Pittsburgh. And then a few hours later, he's out. One of those things where he met with ownership and he's earned the right to be able to say he's walking away. I think probably is a little bit of both. He'll probably take a year off from coaching. So the Steelers, who don't miss on coaches, they've only had 3 since 1969, are now back in the coaching market. But Mike Tomlin just felt like these postseason failures were going to add up against him. 19 years, never had a losing season. It's a Hall of Famer. But I think it went both ways. I think he realized he was done, and I think the Steelers, they didn't want to have to tell him they wanted him out because they have such a great relationship with him. And I respect that. I think that's cool. Morris says, I have one rule when driving long distances. Any inkling of a doze, and I'm at the next rest stop or exit. Lay back in the car and sleep for at least 30 minutes to an hour. Not worth it. Yeah, I know. And I need to learn to do that, but I'm the type that will try to power through. I know that's not right, but I don't like to stop. You know what I do, though, when it's chilly like this? What helps me? I'll just roll the window down in the van, because I'll take a school van, and the cold air will help me. Well, I hate that. 37 years old. Godspeed, my best to his family. Terrible news. I'm thinking about your daughter as well, TLB. That's very traumatic. Lose a coworker. We lost one of the best at Radford several years ago in our sports information department. So, yeah, it stays with you, man. Good friend, great guy. And also in a car accident. Didn't fall asleep, but also in a car accident. So, terrible news. Terrible news. That's right. Morris is coming up here. So Morris and I have been talking. We're trying to figure out. I got to look at my schedule. I can't commit to anything right now. I got to just get back from this trip and I'll look at it. But he's going to be up here in town. And anybody who's local who wants to come by and hang out with Morris, I hope that I can get over there. We'll figure it out. But we'll have like a BDST thing. Roll the window down and turn the music up loud with music you hate. That's right. What I'll be doing, I'll find a Dave Matthews block and I'll just put that on. There are probably still people who walk around, make the active choice. I think I'll listen to some Dave Matthews today. Imagine that. Anyway, yeah, please do, TLB. Thinking about her. It's terrible. It's terrible. So Mike Tomlin is out. We'll see what the Steelers do. They'll take their time. Again, 3 coaches since 69. That's amazing. That's 56 years. Jeez. And all of them won a Super Bowl. All of them won a Super Bowl. Just crazy. Just crazy. So, yeah, we'll recap the trip back. I do plan on doing the show tomorrow. It won't be pristine by any measure, but I will be I will be back to talk about it. And like I said, Radford should be okay. Now, you never assume anything. You're on the road in conference. Now, I think it's the toughest thing to do in collegiate sports is to win conference road games. So I'm not going to sit here and assume. You know what happens when you assume. But I do believe that they'll be okay. As long as they play well, they'll be okay. And then the Tech game is a big game tonight. Big game. Let's see. Let me look it up. People are asking. I don't know the spread. Let me look. I've had 2 texts already on the professional door text line about the spread tonight for Tech. You know what? It's not bad. 7.5. SMU at home. You get they're 7.5-point favorites. No longer ranked are the Mustangs, but it's 9:00. By the way, if you can stay up late. Hey, if I have to stay up late driving, you have to stay up late. 9:00 on the U. Gotta love that 9:00 time, don't you? But yeah, Tech can win that game, sure. Those of you that are asking, absolutely they can. Sure they can. Yeah, they can win that game. 100%. 100% they can. Hopeful says I could listen to Delilah. She might put you to see at all. Yeah, Delilah's kind of got that voice where you could go, just kick back and we need some Wolfman Jack. That's who we need. Remember Wolfman Jack? Hey, man. And the Wolfman Jack. He was in American Graffiti. Morris says, I think we'll aim for the Super Bowl since they are a sponsor. Yes, the NRV Super Bowl, 6 to 9 p.m. So what do you think, peeps? The NRV Super Bowl on the 30th, yeah, depending on my schedule. The only time I could do it, because I have a game Saturday too, the 31st. So, and I'm on the road that week, in the middle of the week, down to Winthrop. So maybe we can do that. That'd be fun. And I think the Super Bowl would appreciate it. We'd give them a little extra push. So let me know. The full text line number, TLB, is 540. Let me make sure I get it right. 391-0788. Yeah, I know. Well, it's not you. It's just the way this thing's set up. It's not your screen. Let me give you this here. The professional door text line. I'll put it up there. There you go. There you go. 391-0788. 540-391-0788 is our professional door text line. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. And thanks to Professional Door. There's their actual name and logo and graphic. So, Travis Williams. Appreciate him a whole lot. And then Professional Door Incorporated up in Dublin. They're the best. They're the best. Great people, man. Great people. Ready, Set, Fun, ReadySetFun.com. That is Bob Chris, Dave Chris' brother. BobChrist11 at Gmail. If you want them to send you a information about trying to have just a text message marketing campaign to raise the money for whatever you need it for. Maybe I should do it for my roof. What's up, Jay? We're talking about whatever the hell we want. College hoops right now. Kion Brown's going to join us, Jay. You don't want to miss that coming up here in about 14 minutes. He's great. He's great. National Bank member FDIC, my exclusive banking partner, the exclusive banking partner, BDST, here on YouTube. 35 years I've been with them. And we have a really good BDST attorney, Ryan Pry, fan question of the week, 701 West Main Street in Radford. It kind of just came out at the end of the show yesterday. Which is the biggest Virginia Tech blunder? Seth Greenberg telling Steph Curry he wasn't good enough to play basketball for Virginia Tech as a legacy, or Whit Babcock not speaking with Kurt Signetti before he hired Brent Pry because allegedly he was too old. And right now, Steph Curry is winning We've had about 20 answers, and it's 16-4, actually. Steph Curry is winning. About that. Little River Heating and Air, that's Charles Lee, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. The best in the business. They are. We're presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Speaking of the best, they have some more announcements coming up. Jonathan Sweet, Tim Miller, thank you. So many people come up to me wherever I'm at talking about Jonathan Sweet and how great and how energetic and what he's done for Pulaski County. They hear us talking about it here. It's awesome. Family Fencing, of course, sponsoring our studio, 540-200-8294, familyfencingnrv.com. By the way, I found out my fiance knows the owner of Family Fencing very well. I had no idea. So there you go, another link. She was telling me yesterday. I didn't realize that the owner was somebody that she's known, same church, something for years and years. I was like, oh, that's cool. Tell them to give us more money. I'm just kidding. McClellan Chiropractic, Mark Hundley, right off of Peppers Ferry Road. Thanks to him for sponsoring. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply has been around since 1997. 300 North Franklin Street in Christiansburg. Call James if you have windows, doors, plumbing needs. He does installation as well, 540-381-8011. The NRV Super Bowl, we're just talking about him. That's where we're going to do our meetup here. Might be able to work that out as well. Randy Thompson, who's been working with me here to get the show going. He's our consultant. He knows all the people. He's in a bowling league over there. So maybe, Morris, we can do something through him. 382-5525, the NRV Super Bowl. And then Top Shelf Apparel, 4377 Lee Highway. Thanks to them. Seth Greenberg, worst coach decision ever. All sports time. How stupid. Yeah, everybody's saying Steph. Yeah, he's winning. He's winning big over Signetti. Although that one was pretty dumb too in retrospect. But yeah, it's a runaway. Yeah. So first run of the show, we had just made it big time when we were the ones who announced that Virginia Tech was going to the ACC, thanks to Wes Durham, who called me from the meeting. And, there weren't a lot of shows like this. Certainly there's nothing online. And he said, hey, man, do you want an exclusive? Virginia Tech just got offered and accepted to go to the ACC. And Seth Greenberg was the head coach at Virginia Tech, head basketball coach. And I'll tell you this story, and I'll just leave it up to your own interpretation of how I feel about him. So he called one day after the show. It was an afternoon show at the time. And, hey, Rick, I think Seth Greenberg's on the line. Oh, okay. Hey, Coach, what's up? Well, he wanted to come on and do a weekly spot on the show. I was like, oh, that's great. That's great. Because word had gotten out. There'd been a newspaper article about us breaking the news and all that. And I said, when would you like to do it? And we worked out a thing. And then at the end of the conversation, he goes, and, who's going to handle the fee? And I was like, the fee? What do you mean? Well, I mean, usually something like this, I get $500 an appearance. I went, excuse me, Coach? This guy's making, bukus of money, right? Wanted to charge me what would have been an equivalent of $2,500 a month, or charge the radio station, when he was already doing the Tech games, and he had, I don't think it was called Tech Talk Live then, but the hotline, whatever, what was it? The Tech hotline, whatever it was. Hokie hotline. And he wanted $500 to come on the show every week. What world do you live in? Really? Oh, yeah, we just got that falling right out of our ass, Coach. So I said, well, we don't have that kind of budget here. I said, no, that's not going to happen unless you just want to do it. And then, I never heard from him. Yeah. Prometheus says, I built Seth Greenberg's house. Worst human being I've ever done business with. Yeah, he's not a good dude. He's not a good dude. That proved it to me once and for all. He's not a good dude. And then apparently was going around telling people over at Tech, the station told me they didn't want me. They couldn't pay me. Yeah, we couldn't pay you. Would have loved to have you. But he nor his brother, who coached at Radford, who I worked with, the most desirable people to be around. Yeah. So whatever the hell you see on TV and however he presents himself, yeah. Just a horrible human being. I'm just going to come around and say, just a horrible human being. Wayne, combined with letting brother Seth go to Liberty makes letting the Currys go not only to different schools, but smaller schools before Seth transferred to Duke. And it's affected Dell's relationship with Tech since then, by the way. One of your greatest all-time players. Moore says Seth Greenberg's the biggest pop ass ever. I have to turn the sound off when that idiot comes on. Yeah, I don't ever listen to it. Why would you? It changes with the day, right? You can't hide class like Seth Greenberg. But imagine calling up just a local show. And we were making strides and we'd started to find our footing, but to ask for that kind of money to come, and you're the one calling me. What? Whew. Greenberg was a douchebag, but he was a solid coach, Tebow says. Yeah, he was solid. He was all right. He wasn't great. Not a Hall of Famer by any measure. He was okay. Bill hates Greenberg. Yeah, not a lot of people have fond memories of him. Tech's hired a lot of coaches like that, unfortunately. No, Penn State's doing just fine, Joseph. They really are. Yeah, I know Penn doesn't. Yeah, but about 90% of all of these Franklin guys are coming from Penn State. But it's going the other way for Matt Campbell. He's gotten just as many Iowa State guys, if you will, right? It's crazy. The portal's just insane. True. Yeah, you got passed over in the tournament. Because they did not like Seth Greenberg. Correct. It had a lot to do with it. He burns bridges everywhere he goes. Yeah, he did. And, of course, it just fits perfectly that he's remained on ESPN all these years, which tells you all you need to know. Lose stupid games when we're supposed to win. And then complain about not being in the tournament. Yeah. Hello, John Lord. Junior G. I'm sorry, Junior G. Hello. Good morning. Welcome, man. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel. Junior ORG. Correct. Nobody wanted him. Correct. Nobody wanted him. Yeah, Buzz was a toolbox, absolutely. Much better coach than Seth Greenberg, but absolute toolbox. He just is. Kion Brown will join us here coming up. Yes, Buzz is at Maryland now, correct. He did, yes. Seth Greenberg did blame the reason he couldn't recruit better was being in Blacksburg. Buzz didn't have a problem with it. Buzz is, quote, unique. Wade says. That's a good way to put it. But I didn't really know Buzz. I just had people telling me about him. He's quirky. Wasn't the guy that he portrayed himself to be, but I did have personal experience with Seth Greenberg, so I can talk about him and his brother, who coached at Radford, and we had some issues, even though we went to an NCAA tournament. Joining us now on the program is that gentleman, speaking of Radford, speaking of going to the NCAA tournament, the Highlanders, 3-time, Kion Brown. What's up, brother? Good morning.
Rick Watson, what's up, Brown? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm great, but I can't complain about a thing.
I'm glad.
Yeah,
and you don't have a game tonight. Longwood's off, right? You guys are off tonight.
Yeah, I don't have a game until next week. Next Wednesday, Longwood and Gardner-Webb, and then Thursday, Quinnipiac and Mount St. Mary. So I have back-to-back next week.
Well, we're going to have Donny Lind on here in just a little bit. So
yeah, man.
We'll talk about the is that a men's game you're doing or women's game?
Yeah, it's a men's game.
Okay, Well, if I find out, make sure that, he knows you're coming because, he might make him uncomfortable.
Yeah, just pop out on them. They had a tough loss on Sunday against Siena.
They did.
Coach McNamara. And then Virginia Tech just had an awful loss a week ago against Stanford.
Yes.
Oh, man, that was one of the worst losses I've seen all week. All year. Sorry.
That was bad. Bad. I left Dedmon Center. Our game was fast that night against PC, and the last score I saw, they were up by 13 with 3.5 minutes. I get in the car. They're still in post game, and I wanted to hear Mike and Zach talk about it. And then Zach comes back from a break, and he's all down and depressed. I'm like, "What's wrong with Zach?" And he goes, "Mike, I know the way to say this." In that deep voice that he puts on. This is one of the worst losses I could remember. And I'm like, "Whoa!"
It's a bad one. It was a bad one. Yeah. Then they beat Cal, a pretty good Cal team, so he bounced back.
Yeah.
And now you got to injure SMU team. Right, no Boopy Miller most likely. I know he's been out. I don't think he's playing. I'm sure he's not. But you got to. That's a game you have to win without Boopy Miller. Even though they got a lot of other guys who can really go, when you got your leading scorer and playmaker out of the game, you got to take advantage. Because teams took advantage against Tech when they didn't have Toby Lawal. So, got to get it done.
Yeah. He's supposed to be back in the starting lineup tonight.
Yeah, he looked okay. You can kind of see they were trying to ramp him up slowly.
Had to ease him in. Ease him in. So they're getting healthier, and this is going to be an interesting test for them later tonight. And the Radford situation tonight. Obviously, coming off a horrible second half on Saturday. I mean, Mike Morrell did a great job on Saturday at Dedmon Center. Asheville's coached really well.
No, he can go. He's great.
But now you're going into a place where you're going to be heavily favored.
Yeah.
Gardner-Webb really struggling. They've had a lot of injuries. Don't you hate these games, though, if you're a coach? These are the kind of games, if you're favored and you're supposed to go down there and just end this thing early. And it's one of those, if they hang around, which is what they did in their first two conference games. Yeah,
Gardner-Webb is not good. I'm just going to come out and say it.
They're not.
That is a game that Radford should win.
Exactly.
If Radford loses this game, I don't know what to think for the rest of the season. Like, they are not good. Like, for our listeners, they're one of the top 10 worst teams in Division I basketball. I will say that.
They're at 361.
Yeah.
In the net of 365. 365.
There we go. They are not good. I mean, I was looking at them against High Point. I think it was 9 minutes left in the first half. They only scored like 3 points. It was something ridiculous like that.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to hear anything about trap game. I don't want to hear anything about not being prepared. No, you have to win this game.
I know.
Oh, my gosh.
But they've had a week off.
Yeah.
You never know. Maybe they got healthy. Maybe they're getting healthy.
Yeah, it is tough to play at Gardner-Webb. They got one of the best student sections in the Big South.
They do.
I don't want to hear it.
They'll be full throat tonight.
Yeah. Come on now. This is not a game that you should lose.
No, it's not. It's not, but we'll see.
Yeah. We've seen weirder things happen. We'll say that, right?
We have. We have. And, and I hate to see where they are, to be honest, because Jeremy's a good guy. Jeremy.
Yeah, he is. He is a great guy. He is, yeah.
They've had a lot of injuries. And Gardner-Webb was just telling the story. They knocked us out of the tournament. We're trying to go back-to-back.
Yeah.
They came up to the Dedmon Center on Championship Sunday and just absolutely with DJ Laster. And
DJ went crazy.
And just crushed Radford that day.
Oh, he had the best game of his career. Like, it wasn't even close how good he was. I can't believe we lost that game still to this day. I still can't.
I know, especially the manner in which we did.
Yeah, it was like every time you make a run, they had an answer. We thought we could get back in it, and then here comes Tim Kraft in that defense getting a stop. It was bad.
But you know what I remember about that?
Yeah.
I remember that morning we had a bad shooter. We had a bad shooter around.
Yeah.
And I remember Coach Jones sitting there he's plopped down on one of those chairs.
Yeah.
You know how he sat there with his hand behind his head? I said, "You all right, Coach?" You're getting ready to do the interview. He goes, "We're not ready." He goes, "We're not ready."
God.
And I don't think he was surprised, to be honest with you.
I wonder if that had anything to do with it being so many guys who won the championship the year before, and they're just thinking in their head, we've been here before, we've done that, and we know what it takes to get ourselves ready for the game, not knowing the significance of the game still, because still had Carleek, you still had Pop, you still had Ed Polite. It was a squad, a really good team, and I thought Radford was going to just run away with the game because Gardner-Webb had upset, I think it was UNC Asheville to get to that point. So, man, oh gosh, I remember that game like it was yesterday.
Yeah,
when I first moved to DC, and I couldn't wait for the game to come on. Oh gosh, Rick, you just opened up. You just unlocked some memories, dude.
Well, Mike Ashley had called the game with me the year before when Carly hit the shot, so he came back. We wanted to keep the same luck, and I remember the second media timeout, and they had pushed ahead by like 8 or 10, and he looked at me and he went, "We're not winning this game, are we?" And I went, "I don't think we are."
Oh man,
it just got worse and worse.
Yeah, they just had the energy, they had the effort, they had the bench. Oh man, they were ready. So you got to credit Tim Kraft for being ready and to win on the road. And that it wasn't like the Big South was in Myrtle Beach or it was in Johnson City or it was at neutral High Point, right? That thing was at the higher seed. So they came into Dedmon and cut down the nets on your court. That makes it even worse. Oh man.
And it was just as packed, not quite as packed, but it was pretty full, like it was the year before. So
it was a good crowd.
Bad memories indeed. But hey, you're right. They should be okay tonight. Now, Virginia Tech, on the other hand, is going to have an interesting test. It's a winnable game if they play well. SMU was playing well. Now they've kind of fallen back down. Radford played them. They were kind of uneven against the Highlanders in that game. I know they'd get a lead, and they'd kind of let off the brakes a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. But Tech can definitely pull that game off tonight, don't you think?
Yeah, of course they can. And like I said earlier, if there's no Boopy Miller, you should be fine. He's the leading scorer, the leading assist guy for them. He pretty much is the nucleus of that team. They started off hot against Duke without him, though. I think they started out 9-0, just blitzed them coming out, and then Duke went on a run, and there was nothing that they could do about it. They showed a lot of effort, a lot of fight. But if you're Tech and you have a healthy Toby Luau and you got Neoff Dallas and you got Hansberry and all of these guys playing at the top of their game, you should win the game. I know it's a 9 a.m. tip, and you hate that, but you got to account for the fact that they'll be in Dallas. So it'll be like an 8 o'clock tip there.
8 o'clock.
You got to meet them in halfway, right?
Right. It's 8 o'clock for them. Yeah.
Yep.
Is Boopy back tonight?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. I'm not 100% on that, though.
Okay. Well,
and even if he is back, he's probably not all the way healthy. Yeah, they'll know it helps him a ton.
We'll watch the point spread today. That's how we'll know.
Yeah.
About an hour before the game?
Absolutely. Because it'll definitely adjust with or without him.
Virginia, big win on the road. Louisville last night. What were your thoughts about that as the Cavs have bounced back? You know, they lost that triple overtime game. They weren't happy about all the free throws Tech shot in that game. But they've played well since then, haven't they?
Yeah, and it seems like Coach Odom has just changed up how he's coaching since he's been in the ACC. The way that they're playing, shooting all these threes, having so many shooters everywhere, they weren't like that at VCU. It was like they led with defense, and now they're just spreading everybody out, shooting threes, getting to the lane. So they're probably one of the best teams I've seen in the ACC. Duke has been up in a roller coaster for me. They haven't been a team where I'm like, all right, they'll come into a game and just dominate anybody. I haven't gotten that from Duke yet, even though right now, if I had to say, and I had to look at the bracket, we know they get the favorites or the favorite, side of the bracket every year come March. There'll be a team who I say will probably be in the Final Four, but it's something about Duke that's missing. But UVA is right there as well, man. They're really good. I would not be surprised if UVA wins the ACC tournament come March. That's how good they are. I wouldn't be. North Carolina is much better than what I thought they'd be. North Carolina State's underachieving. Louisville without Michael Brown is not Louisville, who we thought would be another team that could represent the ACC in the Final Four because of how good he is. Without him, they're just not the same team. And then you got some teams in the middle of the pack. Virginia Tech is a team who, if they're playing at their best, will be an NCAA tournament team. But they can't lose to the Wake Forests. They can't lose to Stanford after being up by 13 with 2.5 minutes left. Those are the games you have to close out. And then as the rest of the league play goes on, you have to continue to beat the North Carolinas and the Dukes. And once you play Louisville and NC State, those are the games that you must win if you're Tech. The ACC is much improved than it was last season.
Yep.
But talking about Tech, you still got to win those games against the higher tier teams.
I think I saw, and maybe these numbers are wrong, people can correct me. I think I saw a year ago, there were only 2 ACC teams in the RPI top 50. Now there are like 8 right now in the top 50.
Yeah, the ACC is much improved. That's really good.
Yeah,
and
so there you go.
Yeah, just a change of the guard in that league, though. So
They're
many
not RPI,
great coaches. So many of the great coaches gone, right? Not being able to want to deal with what college athletics come with now with the NIL. Roy Williams, Coach K, Coach Hamilton. You talk about Boeheim at Syracuse. You talk about a guy like Tony Bennett just leaving a week before the season. It's just a change of the guard in the ACC. And now you got these young coaches who are doing a fine job with the new institutions. But it took a year, but the ACC is slowly but surely getting back to what we're accustomed to.
Yeah, Clemson is proven to be pretty consistent. Wake is better, and NC State is finally starting to play better.
When you have Will Wade coming in, you know he's one of the best coaches in college basketball. You just know that. So I just automatically assumed before the season that he'd do what he did at LSU, or he'd do what he did when he was at McNeese, and he'd do what he would do or did when he was at VCU and NC State, just taking a little bit of time to get to it. But they're going to have to get some quality wins in league play too if they're going to be considered for the tournament. I know a lot of people probably might have them in right now, but they're not secured in there early on. So as February goes on, they got to get some wins as well, man.
They had, it may have been after a win, and he got a lot of criticism. You saw the presser where he called out his team.
Yeah.
Not only about the way they'd play, but he goes, let's face it, guys. We got guys here that came here for one reason, right? They signed or signed, and they can't wait to get those checks signed and deposited. And they're playing like it. And he goes, we're not going to have that here. I mean, that's what we have to deal with. He called them out about all that, and they've played better. Now, he got a lot of criticism. I'm like, I don't understand why. Why are we still trying to protect these guys when they're making the money they're making? Why is there such an effort? They're not students anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry,
and if there's any coach to listen to in college basketball about paying players, is Will Wade.
Exactly.
Like, we know that. Like, he'll even tell you, dude. He said it. The NIL stands for now it's legal. That's from him. He knows about it. He did it at VCU.
Correct.
He did it at LSU.
And
now he can do. Right now, he's getting obviously it's legal now, so you can do it now at NC State. So if there's one coach in college basketball that I'm listening to about this whole thing, it is him. He knows what he's talking about. Trust me.
Derek Cochran says in chat, all those Euro guys have helped the ACC. It really has.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It really
has. Taj at UVA, Neo at Virginia Tech. I mean, it doesn't help. It doesn't hurt anyway that those guys were pros over there. And at the same time, not Neo. Neo's 19, but you got Taj. I think he's like a 21-year-old freshman. It's like ridiculous how old some of these guys are. That's the only thing I can't wrap my head around in college athletics right now. You have a freshman that's 21 or 22, meaning that they'll get out in college, they're 25, 26. My goodness, that's just insane to think about. Those are grown men out there playing. I think there should be a cutoff age in college athletics unless there is, I don't know what the stipulation be. Maybe it's the military. There's a guy for Green Bay who's 30 years old that's playing college basketball literally right now. So there has to be some type of cutoff. Maybe I make an exception for the military, but you never know what that journey's like. But at the same time, you cannot be 26 playing college basketball and you're a junior. Come on now. We got to draw the line somewhere. We talked about it last week. We know we got the G League players, guys who heard their name called in the NBA draft, but the cutoff has to be an age limit too. Come on, man. Come on.
I'm with you. I can answer your question, Opal. She said, "Hey, did Kion get some new Radford merch? She likes the jacket." No, that's an older jacket.
Yeah, this is an older one. I need some new. Coach, I might DM Zach, Coach.
Good luck.
I know.
Good luck. I was
Come
told
on, dude.
flat out no. So good luck.
That is insane. Like, what are we doing?
The voice of the program doesn't get merch.
Maybe I go to the top guy. Coach Lindenberg, you're watching? Come on, dude. What are we doing? Yeah. Send me something, Coach Lindenberg. My gosh.
Be nice to represent what the new look would be like. But that's okay. The old stuff, like, that's what I wear. That jacket you have on.
Yeah. This is a good one. I wasn't even at Radford for this jacket.
You got that from Darius? Or was that
I think this was before.
Late Jones? Before?
Yeah, this was late Jones. That's the one I still have.
That's the one I still have.
Yeah. I got a red one from Coach Nichols' era though. Yep. The red with the black stripe coming down the side of it. Come on, man.
Not new, Opal. No. It's nice though. Yeah. That's a nice one. That's a nice one.
I should have told Coach Nichols before he left, dude, just make it Christmas for me, dude. Come on, dude. I don't know why I didn't think to do that. I have no idea why I didn't think.
And I got this last year from Darius too. So
yeah, that's the one I want. That's the one with the big South on the side.
Yeah.
I remember the first time you had that on, I texted you during the game. I said, I need that.
You did. You sent me a text.
Yeah, that's a great one. That's one of the best ones I've seen in a while.
Wayne says we can get you some hokey gear, Kion.
I got some hokey gear. Coach Byers, man. Coach Byers like my brother, man.
There you go, JD.
That man. You up. Oh, he'll hook me up. I'll just get a random package in the mail. It's Virginia Tech basketball something. That's my man. But I got something from every stop he's been since he's left Radford. I got something from Rice. I've got stuff from VCU. I might even got a Penn State. He was there for 2 hours, and I probably got something from Penn State.
He probably sent you something.
Yeah.
That's true. He wasn't there very long, was he?
Yeah, that was quick.
Derek's asking, what do you think? He goes, how good is the G Leaguer Johnson at Louisville going to be, do you think?
He should be the best player in college basketball, right?
Yeah, he's been a pro, literally.
Yeah, that's who he should be. So his standard needs to be high. And he set the precedent for everybody else, him and the guy at Baylor. So it's like, come on, man. Come on. I don't even really want to watch. Well, if he gets on the court, I might turn it. I might turn a TV. I got my TV set up every time I'm watching the game. That game might get cut off, and I'll check to see if he's out. I hate that. Can't stand it. Man.
What is your best guess? This is an impossible question. It's an unfair question. What is your best guess what's going to happen with, and let's call it what it is. It's pay for play now. It's not NIL anymore. It's pay for play. What are we going to do? What's going to happen?
Contracts and caps.
You think the caps can happen legally without people challenging it at this point?
No,
I agree with you. I agree with you. But
I think that's what's coming. I just don't see how it doesn't happen. I think it won't happen in the middle of the season or anything. It'll probably happen in May or something, like right when nobody's really thinking too much about it, and then it still has enough time to settle down. And then by the time you start practice in October, the rule would have been changed so long that guys would have forgotten about it. I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to be one of those situations where we told you the rule, time goes by and you forget about it. Whenever you have news, 2 months later, it's not news anymore. Nobody cares about it. So that's why I think it's going to happen. They're going to announce it early on and then allow the dust to settle for it to just be out of the minds of folks.
You are right, Prometheus. Kion is a Redskins guy. He's
no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
My goodness.
Yeah. Who you like in the playoffs now? Who's going to win this thing? Houston's going to win the Super Bowl, aren't they?
No. So I think that if Josh Allen doesn't win it this year, I just don't know. So I got Buffalo on that side and the Rams on the NFC.
I can't get mad at you as a Broncos
Yeah.
fan. There's no way Denver's winning Saturday.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not.
Buffalo's
I'm not
gonna
too
go right
sold
in
on
there.
him. I'm not.
No, I'm not either.
Yeah.
Because Bo Nix is not. He hasn't elevated his game enough. I don't think he understands quarterback has to elevate their game in the playoffs, like Josh Allen does year in and year out.
Yeah, we'll see though. At least he made it to the playoffs last year, so he has that experience.
Yeah,
right?
but he's got to he's got to understand it. They're going to need him if they have any shot Saturday afternoon. He's got to be different.
You can't have the showing that the Broncos had on Sunday Night Football versus my Commanders, who was the 6th worst team in the NFL. You have that type of showing, you're going to lose. It's just
until they change the name back, it's hard to take that football organization seriously.
Yeah, and then when you go into what is it, Southwest or Northwest Stadium or whatever it is, formerly known as FedEx Field, there's more Redskins merchandise than Commanders merchandise from the fans.
Correct.
Every game I go to.
And
it's just better. It's just better.
The tribe of Native Americans want it back. That
of course. It was one person who said something. The world was woke, and now it's offending everybody. You didn't care about it, and you still don't care about it. You're not thinking about it. It does nothing for you. You don't lose sleep at night. You don't.
It was to honor.
It was to honor. It was to honor.
It's to honor. It's not.
It was to honor, and I will argue with that with anybody. You just ruined one of the classic franchises in the NFL. Great uniform, great logo, great tradition, gone in the snap of a finger. Bring it back.
Terrible.
I don't care how terrible we were in my lifetime. It still was amazing. The logo, it probably was you can argue it's the best logo in the NFL. You can make that argument.
You can. No, you could.
You can.
You really could. You really could. It was the stupidest, dumbest, you're right.
Yes.
All for the wrong political reasons, rebrand ever.
It was just at a terrible time.
And the NFL's got no backbone with Goodell.
Yeah, you make the Redskins change, but you don't make the Chiefs change. Or you don't make oh my goodness, you done got me started. What is the main difference? What is the main difference between the Redskin logo and Florida State's logo?
Well,
no, seriously though.
No,
it's the same thing.
It is. Seminoles are different because they actually are part of that program. I get why Florida State.
I get it too, but I'm talking about the actual logo.
Oh, the actual logo.
Yes.
Well, you're not because it's the.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the arrowhead, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Inside the KC, outside the KC. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Everybody in chat's agree with you. Yeah, it makes no sense. It's never made sense, and people just fell in line with it. Oh, got to change the Cleveland Indians too.
Yep.
You know, you got to get rid of everything. All these schools that did it, and as everybody just kind of fell in line, they felt like they had to. And your point though is the best one because these people never cared.
They don't, and they still don't care.
Yeah,
they care for a half a minute, and they just wanted to say something on X. They just wanted something to type and hope it went viral. And hope it gained legs, and it did. But my goodness, like
when the group of people that logo or name is representing tells you they're not offended and they're more offended it was taken away, then you've made the wrong decision.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
No, you're right. You're right. And then whenever Washington scores a touchdown, and the fight song comes on. And they changed it to say "Hail to the Commanders." The folks are there say "Hail to the Redskins." Still, they still say it.
Yeah, as they should.
They should. Now we didn't say it that much this season, but as bad as we were, right? I think
they may have gone to hell, but not hell.
Yeah. Gosh, I remember that Sunday night game I went to versus Seattle was just bad. 28-0 in the second quarter. Like I filed a complaint. I said I want my money back. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous, man.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, but I'm with you. I think a lot of people feel that way. And the thing about it, there's more of a push for it to change. But Goodell, the league will never allow it.
Yeah, they're not going to allow it.
They will not allow it. Roger Goodell will not allow it because he is so bad. He's terrible. Terrible. But anyway. What else is going on this week?
That's it, man.
That it?
Yeah, I just needed a break, man. I really did. And this is a blessing to have because last year I didn't have as many games as I wanted to call, and this year I have so many I had to turn some down. So I'm thanking God for that. I am blessed. Like I said, I always credit it to you, and it always goes back to you.
Well,
And
no.
just all of the opportunities that I'm getting this season, I don't take it for granted at all. To be able to say I had to turn down 2 games this week because I just had so many. There was 2 points in the season where I had 7 games in 11 days, and another where I had 6 games in 8 days, in 2 different instances.
And you're trying to teach. You're trying to teach
Yeah.
a class. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, man.
You're the one who's made this happen, brother. You always give me the credit, but you're the one. You and your talents, what's made this happen.
It's always a nucleus. It's always a core where it came from, though. So that's why I will always give you your flowers, man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we'll keep it going. We'll see how we do tonight. It'll be a long drive back in the middle of the night, but I'll be okay.
Yeah, man.
We should get a dub. And
absolutely.
And we'll see how Tech does. Could be a good night in the NRV hoops.
Yeah. Should be.
Right. All right, brother. You take care and give us a listen tonight if you get bored. I don't know what their stream's like at Gardner Wheel. They've changed so many people. I don't know.
Yeah, I know they had Costatino, but he's gone.
He's gone. Yeah,
he's in New York somewhere. LIU. I think he said LIU Brooklyn or something.
Yeah, something like that. So I don't know what they have, but we'll see.
I think they might have a student stream.
If you get bored, you should come to Longwood plays at Radford on Saturday.
Yeah, man.
You should just show up.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
All right, brother. Stay safe.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you, man. There you go. Kion Brown joining us on the program. Great stuff as always from Kion. I got him fired up with the Redskin talk. Of course, he's 100% right. We have been saying that for a while. He's 100% right. Amazing. Absolutely amazing that a certain group of people decide what offends everybody else. When I went on our Albuquerque with Radford basketball with Jeff Kleppen, we played at the Pit. I've told you this story. We had, and I'm going to say he was American Indian because he didn't want to be a Native American. He said, white people think they know what's good for everybody and they don't know shit. That's what he said to me. And I'm thinking, he goes, I don't want you to be offended. I said, no, you're right. Our traditions are our traditions. What we want to be called, how we want to live, what we deem is this, that, and the other is up to our people. And I'm like, yeah. And then we went on a little expedition and we talked about Bigfoot. And it was awesome. And he had on his headdress and he was awesome. One of the wisest people I've ever talked to in my life. Tebow says a buccaneer is a pirate, raped, murdered, and pillaged. You could find something in every mascot. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly, Morris. Roger Goodell's making $40 million at least. I think he's making more than that. I think it's gone up now. Tebow says his Eagles have been as a country that hates America. Yeah, here locally, yeah. Blacksburg Indians went to the Blacksburg Bruins because of that same wave of political correctness. Yep, 100%. 100%. Yeah, good to see Kion fired up this morning. Damien Sordelett joins us now on the program from the Roanoke Times. What's up, brother? Good morning.
Morning. Hey, Tebow, as long as the Eagle mascot throws D-cell batteries at people, I think you will offend half the country.
Yeah, their fan base deserves all the criticism that it gets, don't they? That wasn't cool. That wasn't cool.
And I mean, Lincoln Financial Field has a prison built in, the
holding cell there. Does it really?
Yeah, just like the old facility.
You know, when you build your new stadium, if you have to have a holding cell, that maybe your fan base is a little out of line.
Morning, Wayne.
Speaking of people who offend, hey, David. Wait, he loves him some David. So where are we now? Let's see here. We're in middle of January. Still no Grunkmeyer's officially committed. I hear it every day. People are so worried about it. I keep telling them I think we'd have probably heard something else by now if he was going anywhere else. They're just for some reason waiting on that announcement. Or are things officially finalized with him?
I don't think there might be some holdup where his agent's looking through things and trying to make sure everything's buttoned up. That would be my only thing. I would assume since Virginia Tech hasn't announced any signings yet, there's only been people who've announced they've committed. Assume nothing's finalized on their end. So I would, until Virginia Tech says, hey, they're all signed, I would assume they're committed and nothing has been like officially finalized yet. So I would go with just wait till, I would say come the 16th, I have a feeling we'll get some clarity. Or they might string it out to the 19th, the day before classes start, and say, hey, they're all signed. And do that. It's like,
yeah. Well, even if the school hasn't released it, though, we've seen every other quarterback, and I do mean every other one, put on their own social media or have they're going to this school, right? Mm-hmm. He's the only one that I don't think has done that yet. That's why people are concerned, because he just has Penn State stuff. The last thing he retweeted was one of his friends at Illinois, the lineman who went to Texas A&M, that he was leaving Illinois to go to Texas A&M. That was the last thing he put up.
Yeah. So I would he's probably been told to be quiet. And, there's the old saying, if he hasn't officially announced, he can go out and recruit guys to come to Virginia Tech. Another popular social media post. Yeah, I saw that this morning, Tebow, about the contract details being complete. So
yeah, well, maybe that's what it is. You think it changed any when you brought the Carolina guy in? You think that maybe got him?
No, and I kind of like the Tech Sideline guys. They on their podcast, they're like, bring in your QB2, before you announce QB1, so that way, you can get QB2 in. But I think you bring in both Grunkemeyer and Baker, and that's a good QB battle through camp. I think Grunkemeyer would be the number one guy, but Baker goes from being number 4 at UNC to now being number 2 at Virginia Tech. And Danny O'Brien recruited him out of high school. They both attended the same high school. I think there's a good relationship there. So I think that's probably helped Baker make his decision. And if Grunkemeyer has another year, similar to what he had this past year, has a full season, he would be draft eligible and could make a decision that way. And you could be sitting for 1 year before you get a chance to start. So, there's a lot to play. He was behind Gio Lopez. He was behind Johnson. Yeah. And there's another freshman quarterback who beat him out. So Baker was the number 4 quarterback last year at UNC.
So Tech better hope it never gets down to him having to actually play. Because even though those other guys left, he still decided to leave North Carolina. So there you go. Whatever the contract details may be, I don't think people who say they know really know. They may hear things, but they don't know. We don't know. You can't claim to know. But there are no rules that says he can't go out and promote that he's coming to Virginia Tech, unless it has to be something with the actual NIL deal. But we can't look at his contract any differently than anybody else's, though. It's not any different just because he's coming to Tech. People are acting like, no, it's the same thing. So the only thing that makes sense is they had to pay him more money, right? They had to change the amount if other schools were coming after him, or like whatever it might be, how these NIL contracts work. I mean, who knows, because we never hear how they work.
Exactly.
We don't know. We just don't know.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, a lot of Penn State guys. This is going to be about, 90% of everybody he's bringing in as a Penn State connection, 80%, whatever it might be. It's a lot.
Yeah, 75%, I would say.
A lot. It's a hell of a lot.
Right now, I think it's about half the class, the transfer class is Penn State, and then a good portion of your signing class was Penn State former commits. So,
and it'll be different next year. He won't have that. He won't have that bridge from Happy Valley to Blacksburg.
But he won't need, essentially this transfer portal, he's been filling with class of 25 guys, class of 24 guys, essentially saying, oh, you guys didn't recruit as you guys missed on a few guys here in these past 2 cycles, so let me fill the gap here. And that's, I think, what they're doing. I think Grunkemeyer would be 22, if I'm not mistaken. And
how many of the high school guys were Penn State guys? A bunch.
Hune, Mickens, Brown, Peterson. I'm going through the list right now.
Good morning, Christopher.
Right?
How you doing, brother?
Yeah. I think it was about half, I want to say, or a little bit more than half. I didn't mark down where they had been prior. Good chunk of them.
So Grunkemeyer has what, 3 years?
He does. He'll be a redshirt sophomore.
And then the Carolina kid's got what, 3 years? Right?
4
years. Oh, 4 years. Wow. So if they all stay, if they're all here, then there's no way Hune stays after 26.
Well, we might be there's been some chatter about AJ Brand moving to defense. He's another, right now you have, assuming Baker and Grunkemeyer in the boat, you'll have a redshirt sophomore, 3 redshirt freshmen, and a freshman quarterback. So there's a big logjam there with Baker, Keldon Ryan, and AJ Brand. So I would assume you move Brand to defense. That's been a popular choice. He has experience playing there. He could play safety, and right now in the chart I have, you have no safeties who are in the freshman class. You have 3 seniors and 3 sophomores. So you need some help in the safety room. AJ Brand could provide that. And Brent Pry probably knows that he could be in a good spot if he can move Brand there, and he knows the talent because he recruited him. And Derek Jones was the primary recruiter, and he probably saw something on defense. So, yes, Wayne, moving Nick Sorensen from quarterback to safety, and we saw Sorensen did pretty good. All right, Grant. I had Grant penciled in at cornerback, but if he's a safety, that makes sense. That kind of evens out the room.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. There's just a lot of assumption by a lot of people in Blacksburg. These guys are just going to stay. It doesn't work that way in college football. I don't know why.
Not anymore.
Everybody's just like, well, these getting young guys, they're going to be here 3. No, they're not. No. They're just not. Stop. It's a year in and year in thing. 30 to 35, 40 guys is going to be the norm if this system stays in place all the way across the country from the portal every year. That's just the reality of it. High school recruiting is basically dead. And I saw a couple of people writing arguments about it writing articles about it yesterday. I've been saying it for a while. People keep pushing back. It's all about the portal. They're like, well, you can't. Everybody wanted to criticize UVA, right, Damien? They're like, look what they did. Okay. They won 11 games. They set an all-time record. They won a bowl game against an SEC team. Do you think they have any regrets going out and purchasing players last year, the majority of their starters?
No, they just went and purchased Missouri's quarterback.
Correct. And they got another kid last night.
Yeah, from Pitt, the backup, Eli
Backup at Pitt. Their quarterback situation, even after losing whatever his name was. Yeah, Morris is better this year than it was last year.
Well, they're still fighting. They're still going to fight for his eligibility.
Yeah, they say he's not completely done.
I assume if his dad's taking an offensive coordinator role at Clemson, that he's like, okay, well, he's not going to play again. That should be a sign.
Yeah, it's a free for all. It's not the same time though. Drones had no other offers. Plus, he was making way too much money in Blacksburg that nobody else was going to offer. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Tootin got more money to stay the extra year. How many years was APR in Blacksburg? Was he there 2 years or 1 year?
2.
Was he there 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they got more money to stay, but you can't look at what happened even 2 years ago, what's going to be happening in the future. That's why we had over – how many guys ended up in the portal that I see? The total number across the country, didn't it approach 10,000, or was that not correct? Something like that, 8,000? It was a lot. It was.
I think it was like close to 4,000. Is
that what it was?
Post early, yeah, but like 28 from Virginia Tech into the portal.
Right.
That you have to include Jaden Anderson from who entered the portal in the summer as a
45.
freshman.
There we go. Chris says 4,500. That's a lot, man. 4,500. Good Lord.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We don't know what it's going to look like, but I think to assume that everybody's just going to stay is not the way to go. Plus, if they have great years, you don't think an SEC team's going to come? Let's say Bruckmeyer is all ACC. All right, we don't know that, but let's say he just tears it up and Tech wins 9 games, whatever it might be, 10 games. You think there's not going to be teams that's going to offer him more money than what Tech's going to be able to offer him?
Well, Ty Simpson said he turned down a $6.5 million NIL offer because someone wanted him to go to the portal instead of going to the NFL draft.
How about that? But he had NFL dreams, apparently. That's what he's always wanted to do. He had like 3 different offers or something like that. Yeah, Grantham sent me that. Todd Grantham sent me that. I'm not assuming they're all going to leave Prometheus, but so many Tech fans just keep telling me all these guys are going to stay because of James Franklin. It's not an all or nothing. It's let's be realistic about it. That's what I'm saying. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no assurance. People, if anything else, you're following all this crap. There are no assurances with any of this because there are no rules. It is the wild, wild west. And every program in the country has got to do this every year now.
And that's why Tim Sands was one of the 4 university presidents who signed that letter saying guys got to get on board with the College Sports Commission agreement. To kind of like set some rules. I think there's a lot of people who laughed at that when that came out yesterday because it's like, well, why should we abide by a set of rules if we're having success? Like,
yeah.
There are people who are like, yeah, we need to set some boundaries, but it's like Texas Tech's like, no, we'll buy our roster every year.
Exactly. And they said they're going to do the same thing. They don't care. They're out promoting it. We're going to do the same thing every year. Look what happened. It got them in the playoff.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you think Virginia Tech fan would take that? You think Virginia Tech would take UVA's 11-win season? Yes. Yes, they would.
I agree.
I mean, but I don't know what kind of rules we're going to be able to get. I don't see it changing, man. I don't see it changing.
And because someone's going to sue.
Exactly. Who's going to change this disaster? It's just, I don't know, man.
I don't know. And the fact that coaches at the AFCA meeting want to extend, want to allow you to play up to 9 games in a year and still be able to preserve your red shirt.
Right.
At that point, just go 5 for 5.
5 for 5. Right. Because they're just going to leave after 9. It's the same thing. It's just, exactly.
Yeah, you're going to play 9. You're going to red shirt. You'll play 9 the next year and say you get hurt. You'll apply for a medical red shirt. Right. Then you'll get into this Diego Pavia situation, Chandler Morris situation, where it's like, we're going to sue for extra years.
Right.
Like Trinidad Chambliss suing for an extra year. And it's like, the NCAA is like, you never provided documentation that you're hurt in the year that you're arguing for, so why should we grant you the year. He's going to be like, oh, I want the year. I want to get paid. Yeah.
I don't know, man. And then I saw where, Heather Dinich said that the Big Ten and the SEC planning the future already, the playoff. I'm sure you saw that, right? That the Big Ten will say, hey, we'll go to 16 teams if you eventually agree to go to 24.
Yeah.
They're having these conversations now. They're just completely structuring it for everybody else. There's only 2 leagues that are controlling any of this.
Well, they also get most of the revenue from this as well.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's why you need like a college commissioner, a college football commissioner to come in and kind of like reset the playing field.
Agreed. Agreed. You think that'll ever be allowed? I mean, who would hire him? The NCAA? I mean, college football playoff's a separate thing, right? The NCAA doesn't give a trophy for major college football. Would that have to be how would that happen?
You'd probably have to have Trump come in and say, I'm appointing a college football commissioner to run the CFP and college football.
I mean, I don't know how else. I don't know
who would
hire that person.
It would have to be someone big. It wouldn't have to be not network, nothing. It would come down to probably Trump coming in and saying, we need someone there to do that. And doing that.
Prometheus is probably right. ESPN, since they control it all right, they could probably.
Oh yeah. ESPN would definitely push Nick Saban.
Oh, of course they would. And then he'd have even more say he works for them or has worked for them. So then they'd feel like they have more of a say.
And we know who his agent is.
Yeah. Right. Right. They're all represented. I think everybody on that set's represented by that guy. I think. Most of them.
McAfee said he wasn't. I think Reese Davis did say he was. Kurt Herbstreit said, no, I'm not. But Herbstreit is represented by his organization.
And all SEC playoff.
Yeah. So do I like the roster so far? I'm liking it from a standpoint that they're building depth at positions that desperately needed it. I would like to see 1 or 2 more offensive linemen added to the fold because Johnny Garrett hasn't announced he's coming back yet. Same with Laith Ganem. Ideally, you move Garrett to right tackle with Logan Howland coming in. With Altuner at center, then it's like, are you okay with Ganem and Cunningham at guards? Brody Meadows is coming back. Is he an option? I'd like to see another interior offensive lineman added to the fold. If you move Elijah Fall to defensive tackle, I would feel a lot better about that position. It seems like you can move him to tackle along with Copeland and Laws and that group, and then you would have Hilson, Morgan, Abby, Stevens, Dandy, those guys at defensive end. So, maybe 1 more safety, but the roster is starting to shape up, and you can kind of see the vision of Franklin is filling the gaps from the 2025 recruiting class, 2024 recruiting class. So that way there's depth there because like we've been talking about, it's a 1-year deal, but you'd like to at least have a core that you can have from class to class.
I was just looking at this. So 247 Sports just released their top high school plus transfer portal classes.
Yeah.
This is why it's not going to change. Who do you think is number 1 in the combined high school and portal classes for 2020?
LSU.
Notre Dame.
Oh.
Notre Dame is number 1, and they don't even belong to a conference. They just quietly do their business. I don't know who they've brought in, who they haven't. They've got Notre Dame, Texas, Ohio State, USC, A&M. That's your top 5. Oregon, Alabama, Tennessee, then LSU, number 9. Georgia, number 10. Miami, Michigan, Texas Tech, Oklahoma, and Florida. What is that, like 8 SEC teams? Something like that?
Yeah.
That's why
where
it's
the
not gonna
money's
change
going.
right there. I know. But yet their league doesn't perform in the postseason. The ACC's got a team playing in the national championship.
The
By
ACC
Jove.
has a winning postseason record.
Absolutely. Wow. Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, how many guys, and I don't know the answer, because I don't sit there on a daily watch to see that these guys Damien Texas brought in, how many of these guys have a proven starting track record that can come in immediately and jump into the starting lineup and be an improvement? I know some of the offensive linemen do. I don't know the answer, so I'm just asking here. I know Grunkmeyer will,
right?
Obviously, because he played. So how many are we looking at?
From Bill Davis, started and played a good bit at Louisiana. He's going to be a rotational guy. Marlon Jackson from Louisiana Tech and Kion Brown from Duke will have starting experience at wide receiver. Brown's going to start at slot. He's proven, and he's about the same size as Heath, but much more productive. Logan Howland started at Oklahoma when he was healthy. That's why everyone's penciling him at left tackle.
Did he miss a lot of last year? Is that what happened? He got hurt?
He played the first 4 games, and then I think the first 4 or 5 games, and then got hurt on the first snap of the subsequent game. So defensive line, Cameron Morgan and Javion Hilson, 2 of the guys we're projecting to be very high on the depth chart, really don't have much experience. I think Morgan played about 100 snaps at Baylor. That's why he didn't redshirt. But Keon Wiley at linebacker, before he got hurt in 24, he got a lot of run in 23 at linebacker, and he kind of played both sides. He can play inside and play that Sam Star position if needed. And then Jaquez White and Cam Chadwick, cornerback from Troy and UConn, respectively, have starting experience, and they both had. Well, Chadwick has as many interceptions as Virginia Tech has as a team last year, and White was one of the best corners in the Sun Belt, and PFF rated him, I think, as the number 3 cornerback in the nation. Then your punter, Nathan Towton. We're going to talk special teams here. He's got experience. He was the second team all Sun Belt last year and set the Marshall single season record for punting average. So those are your guys.
Is that like what, 10 or 12?
Yeah, thereabouts. 1, 2. I forgot Luke Reynolds has starting experience, tight end. So pair him with Benji Gosnell. So
about half of your starters potentially could come from your portal purchases.
Right.
Right.
And then Cameron Morgan and Javion Hilson.
So not a whole lot of difference between that and what UVA was able to accomplish last year.
Right.
Which is my point.
I'll say this. Virginia Tech, some of those guys are young. It's not so the difference from UVA was since I was there for their senior day against Virginia Tech, it's like they had to have 2 lines of parents because that's how many seniors they had.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Virginia Tech, out of this haul, 2 only have 1 year of eligibility left. And Jackson, the wide receiver, and White, the cornerback. Everyone else has multiple years left.
You don't see a lot. Like you see certain guys, like their quarterbacks, they made sure they got out there. But I'm hearing UVA is doing the same thing they did last year with more money.
Well, they have to.
They have to, and I don't think they seem committed to it. So,
well, they are doing we're going to live in the portal, and James Franklin's like, I don't want to live in the portal. I just want to plug and play and then develop. And we'll see. I don't know if they're going to go after Lamar Morgan at safeties coach. It might be Ola Adams, who is currently the safeties coach at Indiana.
Yeah, the peeps were saying that they didn't get the Michigan guy. So that's another guy that Franklin targeted that's not coming. Yeah.
But they could have done a background check on him and found like there was some stuff dating back, whether it's with Harbaugh, whether it's more. it's like,
yeah, why would you want anybody? That's true. Why would you want anybody from that? That's true.
Well, he would have pulled a couple safeties from Michigan.
Yeah.
But Ole Adams from Indiana, he has worked with Franklin. He was on Franklin's staff. And then Cignetti pulled him to go to Indiana. So I would say the probably reason why it's taking so long is they're targeting Adams and to say we'll give you a title promotion to co-DC. And I mean, he was defensive coordinator at Villanova when Cignetti was at JMU, and JMU was in the CAA. Villanova's defense is really good against James Madison. And then Adams went to Penn State for a year, and then when Cignetti took the job at Indiana, he plucked Adams and said, "Hey, I want you leading my safeties." And I think the only reason you get Adams is you probably, and this is why they haven't spent all $9.5 million on their assistant coaches. Excuse me. You want to have some wiggle room to get Adams as a co-DC safeties coach, and then have wiggle room where you can give these guys raises if other programs come after them.
Well, but these coaches could also be doing it the other way. They could be looking at the setup in Blacksburg and go, "Yeah, I'm not going there either."
Yeah,
I mean, there's been a lot of them that haven't followed Franklin that he's gone after. Not many of the guys on his staff were his first choice.
Right. But Sean Spencer was the first choice at defensive line.
Okay, I said not many. I didn't say all. Right. I just said not many are his first choice.
Yeah. Matt Moore probably wasn't the first choice at offensive line.
No. Running backs coach.
Yeah.
Got fired. I mean, it's the staff to me is going to be very curious to see how it develops.
Yeah, but I would say having continuity with Matt Moore at offensive line was really strong, because I was going through the math here. Johnny Garrett, if he comes back, was recruited by Vance Weiss, played 1 year with Joe Rudolph, 2 years with Ron Crook, the bowl game with Brent Davis, this past year with Matt Moore. If you had gone with another coach, that would have been 6. That from his recruitment to finishing college, it would have been 6 different offensive line coaches. You can't do that. So keeping him was, even though you might not have been the first choice, but keeping him was probably one of the more underrated moves that Franklin has made this offseason. And not getting Ludwig as your special teams coordinator, that's fine. You're able to get Doug Shear for cheaper. I mean, he was making $140,000 at UConn, and you can bump him up to $350, and that's not breaking the bank. I mean, it's cheaper than what Tech was paying with Stu Holt. So,
where did he go?
Holt hasn't found a landing spot. I've been trying to keep up on it. Sean Quinn's defensive coordinator at Liberty. Brent Davis is now tight ends coach at Pitt. Elijah Brooks is at USF. Jairo Wilson is somewhere as an edge coach.
Prelo hasn't landed yet anywhere, has he?
Prelo hasn't landed anywhere. Same with Derek Jones.
JC
no. Adibi no. Monty and Steve Kiss, I haven't seen anything.
Hey, Damien, what about Moore from Oregon? Started to come over to you at the Roanoke College Washington League game. Good game. Roanoke should have won.
That was a rock fight. Oh, my gosh. So, offense was bad in that game. Yeah, you should come over and say hi. I'll be at the Dedman Center on Saturday.
You going to be at the Longwood game?
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll be heading out to Boiling Springs here a little bit later this morning for the Gardner-Webb game.
Yeah. I don't know. Dante Moore could come back for another year. I mean, he is projected to be a first-round pick. So I don't know. He should probably go on the boat with Ty Simpson. Just go pro. I mean, Oregon's already got Dylan Raiola in the fold.
How about too? Yeah, I wanted to ask you. Todd Grantham brought this up. How about all those schools that put up no taxes as part of their marketing? Come to our school. You don't have to pay. Wasn't that wild? That's unbelievable. This is where we are.
Yeah. Let's not get these guys assimilated to the real world yet, where you have to pay taxes.
It was crazy. I mean, and several of them started to do it too. You know, it was just bizarre.
Yeah, what is it? There was the promise of no tax on tips during the last presidential cycle, and what's it going to be now? No tax on NIL?
Yeah. Yeah. It's not sustainable. It's going to implode. I don't know how or when or who, but it's going to have to at some point.
It has to. There has to be a reset. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to have to be a reset.
I don't know how much more. Now, people are saying I'm being all pessimistic. Maybe I am, because I work in college athletics, and I understand, even at a place like Radford, how this is going to look next year with our basketball team. I understand the conversations that happen within our meetings. I understand what's going on. And I look at it more from especially from a Tech fan perspective. They've been so disappointed. They've been so just completely, have had nothing to cheer for, yet they keep showing up. And they're such great fans. And all these people just seem to be thinking this is going to be an immediate, just an unprecedented success. And I'm looking at it like, well, I hope they're right. They deserve to be right. But that's not the way college athletics works.
Right.
James Franklin didn't stay at Penn State for a reason. You know, we're not going to probably find out the reasons. You can ignore it all you want to, but it makes no sense why he was let go. It wasn't just the AD. He had enough support around him. They bought him out. They couldn't wait. This was just after a 3-game bad stint, even with the record he had built up at Penn State. I'm sorry. To me, that's curious. The fact that he made Tech wait 3 weeks while he tried to get other jobs, and they all said, no, okay, I'll go back to Blacksburg now. That bothers me. And that's not if it happened. I know damn well it happened. I've got people that know exactly what happened. So I hope it works. But I'm not going to sit there and look at these rankings of these kids and think that Virginia Tech's going to be different than anybody else, because it's all the same. All people care about are the money they're making. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is.
And you're not wrong.
And I just worry. I just don't want Tech fan to build this thing up, and then all of a sudden it's going to crash out again. And right. I don't want that. I don't want them to have to deal with that state of emotion, because they're some terrific people. These fans are great. These fans deserve it. But
I'll say this: Franklin's first 2 years at Penn State were 7-6, 7-6. Now, that was still with sanctions. Then they won the Big Ten title in the third year. I'm not going to predict that that's going to happen, but he's building it in that way. Hey Ryan, I'll say this: Signetti built Indiana with players on a team that all SEC talking heads said would get hurt if they played a Power 4 opponent.
Right. They immediately discredited his roster.
Yeah. A lot of guys at JMU.
That's just say it the way it is. He brought a bulk of the JMU guys with him.
Yeah. They're still playing.
Guys, and they thought there was no chance they would ever be successful. And here they are.
Yeah.
Playing for a national championship. That's why I'm pulling for him so hard.
Yeah. I agree with Tebow. It's not going to be as bad as it was last year. I mean, I think today's going to be...
No, it can't be worse than last year. 3-9, it can't be worse than 3-9.
I think today's going to be the announcement, the James Madison games being dropped.
Yeah.
So I looked at the schedule for James Madison, and the number of hoops you've had to jump through to get James Madison moved to week 1, and then make it work for James Madison's schedule and all the other schedules that would have been affected by that. Liberty, Ball State, Stony Brook. I think there's another that the trickle-down effect, if you, say, move James Madison to the VMI date and drop James Madison and dropped VMI, sorry, it was a lot of hoops you'd had to jump through. It would have been possible, but the headache would have been getting everyone else on board, which is why you're dropping James Madison, paying $800,000, which would have been the game guarantee, unless you move them. Versus if you had dropped VMI, it's $350,000, and then just move JMU. So I said for $450,000 difference, I would rather done that. Keep James Madison on the schedule, because there's a possibility you would have had a win over a Sun Belt Conference champion on your resume versus a team that's probably going to struggle to win 1 or 2 games in the SoCon this year. So
we're going to have Matt Roan on next week, and he's going to take us through all that because he was anticipating that it would be done before he's on next week.
Yeah, I think from what I've heard, it's supposed to be the announcement is probably coming today. So, I've had the contracts out looking over, and the language was if they canceled the James Madison game within 24 months, you pay the full $800,000 that was guaranteed to James Madison. Whereas with VMI, if you cancel it anytime, it was $350,000. And then the guarantee for the game is $500,000. So, I agree, Wayne. This upcoming year is the year to get James Madison because
it's going to be a lot of negative PR. It's going to be a lot of negative PR, regardless of what the schedule situation looks like. Yeah. It's going to be a lot of negative PR.
And what's your spin going to be?
They're going to have to figure it out. Yeah, they're going to have to figure it out. It's going to be a really bad look.
The spin's going to have to be the ACC is putting us in a game there that
Correct.
Week.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
And
yes,
then you could say, well, we would have moved James Madison to week 1, but then James Madison's game with Liberty would have had to move to the 26th. Liberty's game against Ball State would have then had to be moved to another day. And then Ball State's game against Stony Brook would have had to be moved. And there's a lot of stuff that would have had to happen to make that work. So
they used to be. It won't be anymore. These games won't be in advance much anymore. There'll be some.
Yeah,
they'll do that.
Well, so the reason why the in-state opponent needs to be canceled is because Tech's non-conference schedule for next year is Maryland, which you got to keep because the ACC is requiring 10 P4 games.
Got to have a P4 game, yeah.
Then your other 3 were VMI, ODU, James Madison, all in-state. So one of them was going to have to go. And you've already gutted the ODU series.
Yeah, how does that go now, Damien? What is this year? And then what did they end up doing? Is it they're done after that? Or is
this year in 30.
And that's it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So they couldn't revisit that one. So it came down to VMI or JMU. That's what it came down to.
Yeah, and the buyouts for the ODU games were pretty big. Because they're paying ODU like $1 million guarantees for these games, and the buyouts for that would have been about as much. So hopefully you can move the James Madison game and avoid the buying that out. But I don't see anywhere on the schedule coming up where you have that flexibility. And Franklin mentioned it on the ACC network broadcast or the radio broadcast during the UVA game that they're revisiting some of these future schedules. Like he probably doesn't want Liberty on there. Get those 4 games off and have the flexibility to get neutral site games, get better home games.
Do you know who the 27 non-conference looks like? I don't know. I haven't looked that far ahead.
Right now it's Notre Dame, Maryland, Liberty.
So that the Liberty game they might look to flip then.
Yeah, the Liberty game would be your non-conference or would be your non-Power 4 game.
So Notre Dame counts as that one of their 5 games to play in the ACC, I guess.
Yeah, that's correct. 27. Let me pull this up real quick.
I think the fans would like bigger games too. They deserve.
Yeah. So right now, Liberty on September 4th, Maryland on September 18th, and Notre Dame on November 6th for 27.
And then you have your non-conference games. So
right now they only have 3 games scheduled. 3 non-conference games scheduled for 27, 28, and 29. So, I mean, even if you don't make any changes, does he want to get out of the Arizona series? Do you want to go to Arizona in 29? And the years that you have Notre Dame on the schedule, provided the ACC doesn't change the rotation up, do you move the Maryland games so you have just Notre Dame as your 10th, and then you can schedule an FCS and another G5?
Yeah, I hope not. I hope not.
Yeah,
that does nothing for the fan. And Prometheus is right. There's a lot of money for these, and the tickets are just going to keep going up. I mean, people are going to be there because it's going to be his first game. But VMI, I mean, it's just you got to spend all that money to watch VMI. There'll be a lot of VMI people that went to VMI that'll appreciate it, but it's it is going to be what it's going to be.
Ideally, the ACC would want to put Virginia Tech against an ACC team week 1, unless
when
they
decide
think?
It makes sense.
Unless they decide to put a game there in week 0, and then you give Virginia Tech another bye week during the regular season.
Makes sense. Yeah, but
so I can see week 0. I don't know where you play it, at home or on the road, but then you come home, then you get VMI week 2, so you get a chance to. Ideally, VMI week 2 would be in your second game would be ideal, because then you can, get going again. You get some younger guys some run before you get into the meat of the schedule. So you're not going to put Virginia week 1. That's always going to be Thanksgiving weekend.
Right.
Clemson week 1, that would be a good one.
It would be a good one. Yeah. That'd be a national push right there. First game for Franklin. Yeah. Dabo. Yeah. Clemson's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying
to
think of it. Unless you want to put Virginia Tech at Miami week 1.
That'd be fine too. I mean, that would be great
on what
too.
Like you could have, the national runner-up or the national champion, depending on how Monday's game goes.
Big rivalry, old Big East rivalry renewed opening day for James Franklin. Oh man. Yeah.
Put that in prime time.
That'd be awesome.
Week 0. Yeah, that would be an ideal week 0 game.
When does the league, what's their time frame about things like that? How does that work within the conference, folks?
So Damien Sordelett brought this up. The NFL schedule has to be set first. Because
for TV, right.
Well, it has to be set first, so that way the Hurricanes and the Panthers
and their stadium, right? Yeah,
because they share stadiums.
Okay, all right.
So once the NFL sets the schedule, then so it's probably going to be in a couple weeks, because the NFL should have the schedule set here shortly, and then that's when the ACC can go in and say, all right, we know when you can have home games here that don't conflict with. I do not want to go to Ireland. I think the Ireland game's already set. I think it's UNC and TCU, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think that's right.
That's the Ireland game. But yeah, I'd be fine. Tech playing at Clemson or at Miami week 0.
That'd be awesome.
Because you could have UNC TCU as like your earlier game, and then you put in prime time James Franklin's debut at Virginia Tech against either Dabo or Miami. And Miami's not going to have Carson Beck, not going to have Reuben Bain, not going to have a lot of these guys. So Miami's going to be restocking at positions. So
who wins, by the way, Monday night? Who's going to win? You think Miami? I mean, they can. They've got the same type of team makeup. of Indiana. That's what Coach Elmation was talking about. He likes the trenches matchup. They're very comparable.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think?
I like Miami, or I do like Miami in this one to cover. I think Indiana, especially playing at home.
What is the spread? I don't even know what the spread is now.
It's I think Indiana's favored by more than a touchdown.
I have not looked at it, to be perfectly frank. It's nice to kind of have a little break, to be honest. I'm getting this game in, and we'll see what happens. Let's see.
I don't know
It's
about
8.5. It's 8.5. So there you go. 8.5.
Yeah, I take the Miami to cover. I think Indiana wins, but again, you're playing at Miami's home field.
500. Morris has 500. He's got Miami plus 500 to win the game. He's got some money on the Canes. So.
Yeah, I would take Miami to cover. I just think Miami's defensive line is better than Ohio State's defensive line, and Ohio State's defensive line gave Indiana fits.
Prometheus says they moved UVA to the 5th game. Did they for next year?
That would be news to me.
Did they really? I don't know.
Well, they haven't announced the ACC schedule yet.
Oh, that's right. We don't know the schedule. That's right. The ACC, yeah, they don't. Opponents were announced, but they didn't announce.
Right, and if you moved UVA to the 5th game of the season,
that'd be horrible. That'd be horrible.
Let me see, where would that fall under? That would be October 3rd.
Yeah.
But I don't know why you do that. Get rid of the rivalry game.
Yeah. Morris win the game.
Oh, I think I know. They don't have the dates next to those. Give me a second. I can look that up.
Yeah, we saw opponents, but we haven't seen, or have we? I don't know.
No, we know the opponents. All right. So if you look at the schedule that they have on Hokie Sports, they show they don't have dates next to the games. So Virginia's the first one listed because they knew that game was always in Blacksburg. And then you have all the other games. Like, they're not going to play home, and then go road for the last 5 yet.
Road. Yeah.
They're going to play, because if you look at the 27 schedule, you see Virginia is the only ACC opponent listed and has Virginia Tech at Virginia. So Virginia will be at the end of the season. I
didn't think they listed the schedule yet. Yeah.
No, they haven't. They just have the opponents listed.
They have the opponents. Yeah, Virginia and Tech will be the last game. That's the way.
Yeah. So, I'm fine with going to BC or Clemson to open the season, because you put James Franklin in week 0, you put James Franklin at an ACC power. I mean, that's going to be a tough ask in year 1, but it would draw eyeballs.
Yeah, people would watch ratings. Yeah, absolutely they would. Absolutely.
Yeah, I put that week 0, and then you have your home opener against VMI. I mean, Justin Fuentes' opener at Tech was against Liberty when Liberty was an FCS opponent.
Yeah. Right.
So, I mean, Brent Pry didn't get that type of fortune. They didn't get Wofford to open his tenure. They gave him ODU on the road. So,
which was expected to be okay, but it didn't turn out that way.
No. So I'm all for a week 0 game that would get some eyeballs.
I like it.
And if you go to Miami, the NFL season hasn't started yet, so that wouldn't conflict.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll let people who make a lot more money than us make these decisions. I won't say they'll make the right decisions, but they will make decisions. Decisions will be made. We know that. Well, good stuff, man. Enjoy the game. Hey, I look forward to seeing you on Saturday. That'll be good.
See you Saturday.
All right, man. Thanks for everything, DS.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, brother. Take care. There you go, Damien. He's the best. Yeah, good stuff. Good discussion. I like the fact he takes the time to talk to people in chat. That's cool. Thanks, Knicks fan. Appreciate it. I'll drive as safely as possible. He's a Broncos fan, too. He says, Denver is pissed. I guarantee that. No one is picking him. You're right. Not one person has picked him, including me. I hope I'm wrong. Please, I want to eat. There's so much crow on Monday on this program. We'll see, man. Josh Allen's really good. Really, really, really good. Really good. I don't trust our defense, and I don't trust Bo Nix. Just don't trust him. Yeah, Damien's great for me. I love the fact he'll talk. I like he just does it naturally, and that's cool. That's why his segment gets a little longer, because he addresses what people are saying in chat, and I think that's really cool. I really appreciate that. Donny Lind going to join us coming up, talk some hoops. Family Fencing is our sponsor of our studio. Thanks to Jason and the gang, 540-200-8294, familyfencingnrv.com. It's cool now, too, to know my fiance knows the owner there. That's cool. McClellan Chiropractic Clinic, thanks to Mark Hunley, sponsor of our chat room, which is always great. You guys and gals make the show special every day here in chat. It's awesome. It's really awesome. Bob Christ, Ready, Set, Fun. It's a series of text messages. The Floyd County softball team raised $4,000 in 5 days. BobChrist11 at Gmail. If you want more information, CRIST. Professional Door Incorporated, residential commercial garage doors, family and operated, 38 years in business up in Dublin, right across from the NRCC. Thanks to Travis Williams. Thanks to National Bank member FDIC. They're the sponsor of the Radford game on Saturday. Lara Ramsey going to be there, and she's going to be honored. National Bank, I've been with them for 35 years, and they're great people, and congratulations to Lara, and proud to have them as our exclusive banking partner here on the show. The BDST fan question of the week brought to you by the attorney Ryan Pry, who specializes in trust and estate planning. And it's overwhelming right now. People are voting for the biggest tech blunder from administration. Seth Greenberg telling Steph Curry he wasn't good enough, or Whit Babcock telling Kurt Signetti's representatives he was too old. It's all about Steph Curry. He's winning right now. Charles Lee, Little River Heating and Air, 540-553-2971. Don't hesitate. Get those folks to your home and check out their stuff. And Pulaski County Sports Entertainment, the presenting sponsor of this program. Thank you so much for all you do. And Jonathan Sweet, you're making such a difference, you and Tim Miller and the gang. People are so excited that maybe not even connected to Pulaski County, because they know what it's going to mean for the surrounding areas. It's awesome. Thanks to Brandon at Top Shelf Apparel, Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, 540-381-8011, and the NRV Super Bowl, where we might be setting up when Morris gets to town next weekend. We might be doing our thing. 540-382-5525, Morris. 540-382-5525. Ask for Terry or Amanda. Maybe we can set this thing up and give them a nice big push, man. That's awesome. They're great. A lot going on. They're great. Thank you, Knicks fan. Yeah, I don't. Bo Nix is going to have to understand he's got to be a playoff difference-making quarterback. We know Josh Allen is. And that's why so many people are picking the Bills. Plus, the Broncos' defense really fell off the final 2 months of the season. Just look at the numbers. Paul says, I'd really be surprised if Miami won. I don't think Carson Beck will handle the pressure. Offense for Indiana is really, really good. Sorry, Morris, he says. Yeah, I am half empty. When I watch them play, I don't see a dominant team. You know, I thought early on their defense could be special, but they really fell off. Teams were able to run the football against them. Bills have James Cook. They didn't get turnovers. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. That's when they win. Prometheus says, I'm pleasantly surprised. I have been surprised. 14 wins surprised me, yes. But see, your weaknesses really show up in the playoffs. And I know they'll have home field, but look at this weekend. How much did home field matter? How many home teams won wildcard weekend? The Bears rallied. They won. They were at home. Rams were on the road. They won. The Bills were on the road. They won. New England, they were at home. Who am I missing? San Francisco was on the road. I don't know how much that matters this time of year. I really don't. Rodney, how you doing? Good morning. Sean Payton's a good head coach. Hard to beat. Yeah. Well, so is Sean McDermott. He's good too. He is. I would pick them if they played the Browns. That's true, especially in the playoffs, Wayne. You're right. Morris says, ready to write it down. 100% Prometheus. I think Mendoza's a better quarterback than half the quarterbacks in the league right now. Fernando Mendoza. Jeez. First Heisman Trophy win. I'm going to write about my whole Patriot article this week is about Kurt Cignetti in Indiana. First Heisman Trophy winner since 1935 at Indiana. He developed that quickly in 2 years under Cignetti. First bowl win since 91. I'm sending you that right now, Morris. Morris is trying to get our extravaganza lined up. Wayne, you better be there. If we do this, there are some ground rules. First of all, there's no touching of the hair of the face. Sorry, I had to go into Anchorman mode when they have the big news team fights. Anyway, you better be there, Wayne. Why is Donny Lind's? There we go. Donny Lind's. I couldn't find Donny Lind's email address. I just sent him the invite. Coach Land's scheduled to join us here coming up. No touching of the hair or the face. And then they're all just like, yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. We know. The drive, 98 yards. Milk-bone dog biscuits being thrown at John Elway as he brought the huddle. Great story about that one. Keith Bishop, the center. Elway's all like, oh, my God. He goes, hey, we got him where we want him, right? It's great. It will be professional, tacky, yet refined. Okay, Wayne's going to show up in a Bigfoot costume. Well, that now we're cooking. Now we're talking about an extravaganza. 100% for me, this, and that's kind of what I wrote about in the Patriot. The reason the Indiana thing is such an isolated thing is because of the guy who brought it together. And this is a guy who left Alabama to go take his first head coaching job at a place called, University of Indiana of Pennsylvania or whatever it was. Indiana of Pennsylvania University. Because he wanted to be a head coach. Left Nick Saban, left that safety net. When he was asked at his introductory press conference, what makes you the guy here? He looks down and smirks. I win. Google me. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Better have that dampen air bread too. No. But we do have that guy, Coach Lind, joining us, the head basketball coach at the Mount, defending champions of the conference and NCAA tournament participant. What's up, Coach? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Rick. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you? How are you guys? I know the journey's kind of been kind of up and down, but you've had some good moments. You feel like things are starting to get solidified now. Middle of January, man, we start to really find out. It starts to hit the road.
Yeah, no doubt. It's been a little bit of a when we were sitting in the summer thinking about how the year was going to go, it's not exactly, how we envisioned it. I've dealt with a zillion different things, mostly injuries. And now to finally be whole, to have our whole team available. And, we feel like it's our time. We've gone through a lot of the ups and downs of the season and had to deal with a ton of adversity and have kind of come through it. And, are we where we want to be today? No, but it feels like it's our time to really make a run and string some good performances together.
And injuries, they're happening, and it's such a Tex found that out recently. I mean, it's such, especially in basketball, when you only have 15 guys, boy, you lose 2 or 3 guys. That's a third of your team that's not available.
No question.
People kind of forget this isn't like football. Okay, well, we got a backup guy who can play okay, and you still have 19 starters. But no, it's not that way in basketball.
Yeah, no doubt. It definitely changes things, but at the end of the day, everybody deals with their own issues and it's like, how are we going to handle the adversity that gets thrown at us? And, for us, we've said it all along, we want to be playing our best basketball in February, and so we've got, this time now to really solidify lineups and rotations and kind of roles for guys now that everybody is, playing, but also played enough that you got a little bit of a feel for who can do what in the game. And so now it's, like I said, it's our time. It's time to, we got a great road trip this weekend. We go up to Buffalo, we play Niagara and Canisius. And, it's one of those trips that, I think can be a springboard for us if we can handle it the right way and begin to play a little bit more like, we know we're capable of.
Well, and I go back, we talked about this, Coach, how good the league is. I don't think people understand. This is the other MAC. This is the MAAC. I'm looking at it right now. You got 6 teams with double-digit wins. I mean, there's some really good programs and some teams that are really having terrific years. So it's not like this is just walking in saying, yeah, we're the champs. We're just going to go out there and take care of it, right? This is a good league.
Yeah, no question. Every night, there's nobody that you walk in there and you say, all right, well, that's a dub, especially on the road. And so, we got to buckle your chin strap a little bit. It's a physical, tough league. And so we've got to, we know what it is though. Now we've been through it. There's no, we got all these new guys. Hey, we've been through it. We've played whatever 7 league games. It's time to figure out just exactly who we are and to play our best basketball. And that's the thing that, we're just striving for, is to keep getting better so we can put our best out there. And we're getting closer to that. We really are. We didn't play great on Sunday, unfortunately. Couldn't had one of those days. I think we've talked about it a lot over our time together, Rick. But there's 2 or 3 games a year where you can't throw in the ocean, and there's not much you can do about it.
I know.
And there's also 2 or 3 games a year that you're going to make everything. And those usually offset each other. And it's, what do you do with the other games? And that, we had one of those on Sunday where, we shot, 20% from 3 and 40% from the field, less than 40% from the field. And you're not going to win. It's going to be really hard against a good team, whether you're at home, whether you're on the road. And so, try to flush that. And we got a bye in the middle of the week this week. So we've given the guys a little bit of time off to kind of rest and recover and reset as we go into, kind of the next big chunk of play. We got 4 games in a week, basically starting on Saturday. So it's our time.
And that sounds simplistic, but it's so true. If shots aren't going in, you're not going to win. And it doesn't mean the offense isn't functioning well. It just means if there's a lid on the basket, how are you going to score, right?
Jim Phelan was the coach here for 50 years. His daughter was the AD when I was here as an assistant. He was alive then. He passed away a couple of years ago. But he would often, from what I understand from the alums, he would come in after the game and probably 3 or 4 times a year would come in and be like, guys, didn't make enough shots. Bring it in. There's some games where, you just, hey, at the end of the day, you got to put that ball in the basket. You can execute the play right. You can create the look that you want to create. You can make the right decision. But, the ball's got to go in. And the players aren't trying to miss. They're trying to make it. They put the work in. And there's just, once that ball leaves your hand, you got no control whether that thing's going in or not. And so, you got to trust and have confidence that, the work that you've put in is going to pay off. And, shoot it with confidence. But at the end of the day, there are a couple games a year where it's not happening for you. Hopefully, we're done with that after the game we played on Sunday.
Well, Coach, you and I have addressed this before, but you see what's going on in college sports, especially in football. It's ridiculous. It's a joke what's happening. But and your approach at your school and your kids and the buy-in that they have, because it's a different thing. Same thing at most mid-majors and so forth. How do you go about balancing that? They have so many accesses now to social media. They know exactly what's going on in their world. What is it about being able to keep a group focused on this is the team in this day and age in 2026?
Yeah, I mean, we talk a lot about that our goals are really simple, and we're fighting human nature, right? If you want to be good at anything in life, but especially at a team sport, you've got to fight human nature, because human nature says it's about me and what I can do and what works for me. And so we talk about it all the time that, hey, today we have to get better today. And if this group will get better today, then we'll give ourselves a chance to get better tomorrow and keep getting better. And if you do that enough days in a row and you stack those days, then you'll put out good performances. And if you put out good performances, you'll probably win games. And if you win games, you'll get yourself a chance to play big games. And if you get a chance yourself to win big games, then that's where the accolades come. And for our guys, they're no different than the student athletes at Virginia Tech or anywhere else. They have aspirations of grandeur, right? Yeah. Delusions of grandeur for who they are as players and what they can do. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? If you polled every Division I college basketball player in the country, 75+% would say, I play basketball so that someday I can make enough money to feed my family.
Right.
I mean, it's why they've played since they were little kids. And that's always been part of the goal. Now, for a long time, that was, I could be a professional and do that, and now it's available at the college level. And, for some of them, when that opportunity arises, if that's your goal and that's why you play, then it's hard to fault someone for making a decision when that is when that's their North Star. And part of our job as coaches and leaders and mentors is to help them understand that, what is temporary, what is short-term, and what is long-term. And how can deferring instant gratification help you in the long-term in life? As adults, we understand that. It's not about what I can get right now. If what I can get, tomorrow is way better. If I can put off doing that today. And so it's all part of them growing up and part of them understanding. And listen, I can't fault a kid for making a decision when they can substantially change their situation, right? The same way I hope they wouldn't fault me is if I'm in that position. And so be able to have a transparent and honest conversation about, hey, when you're here, you're here. We're all in. You can certainly, push for individual success. And I hope all of our players have great individual success, but not at the expense of team success.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
And being able to put those two things in context and being able to do those two things together. And then when the year's over, if you love what we can do for you, and if you love the situation and the environment and the ability to get what you want through the way that we do things, then you're welcome to stay as long as you want. If you think there's something better out there for you, it's okay. I'm not going to fault you for pursuing that. I think if you asked all of our guys who left last year, we had a great season. Guys gave themselves great opportunities because of that. Some of them are very happy with the decision that they made to leave, and some of them are not. And some of them who stayed are very happy with their decision to stay. I would say probably all of them, but maybe not. There might be a couple that wish they would have tried something else. And that's how all decisions are, right? It's an imperfect science. And as my goal is that we're going to give you everything that we have for the 9 months that we're all together here. And again, if you love that style, if you love the way that we do things, if you love that level of care and concern and relationship building and trust, and then you'll come back regardless of the money, and if it's not the style that is best for you and your development and you becoming the best player you can be, then you'll probably leave, but you wouldn't be your best here anyway. Right. And we're looking for the guys that are going to be their best here. And they're the ones who would be bought into the way that we do things. It all comes down to evaluation, Rick, at the end of the day. And it's not the talent evaluation. That part's easy. It's evaluating, do we have the people that can be successful the way that we do things? Mm-hmm. And that's really difficult, especially when you get, 2 weeks to recruit a kid. And so that's where most of the mistakes are made in recruiting right now. It's not an evaluation. It's in character and the type of person for the organization, because that's different for everybody. Everybody wants a guy who can dribble, pass, and shoot and make shots and dunk and pass and all that. That's easy. But not that guy won't be his best for me. He might be his best playing for a different coach, and vice versa. There could be a guy who can really dribble, pass, and shoot that is floundering somewhere right now, but he might be a star if he's in the right environment, and that's what we're trying to figure out.
Well, and to one of your points, and that's true. I mean, people are responding. That's terrific. Hopefully, they will look back on that journey. But a lot, how we in our radio pregame, as you know, right after we have an opposing coach's interview, and it's amazing how many of these coaches are saying what you said about, look, we know we have guys, they're not going to play pro ball, but they may improve their lot for another school to come and swoop them up, and now they're going to make their money that way. Some of these coaches are saying that's motivation they're using to these guys directly. Like, look, we got you this year. If you want to get to that level and you want to make a little money while you're still in school, you're going to have to – and that it's interesting. It's got to be a difficult adjustment because, like you said, it's not thinking about the pro level as much anymore. They're thinking, what am I going to make next year potentially at a power school or whatever it might be?
Yeah, you know me. I'm a little bit of a we've got some analytics background, a little bit of a nerd. We've done some research, and if you're at our level, if you're a player at Mount St. Mary's, and you're one of our 3 best players, financially, it does not make sense for you to stay here, right? Financially, you'll open yourself up to opportunities that we can't match. Now, if you have other motivation besides that, then certainly there's a certain reason for you to stay. But if financially, then you've opened yourself up to those opportunities. And I'm very frank with guys in recruiting. If you get to that point, that's what it is. But if you're our 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th best player, you haven't opened yourself up to those opportunities yet. And when you go out into that mythical portal where you can, all your hopes and dreams are set to come true, you may find that what you have there is not quite what you thought it would be. And the statistics say it's worthwhile for you to stay here and become one of those 3 best players and then make that jump. And then, go to that level where you can, make a significant pay increase in your playing against, the best competition in college basketball. And so, I'm very frank with guys in recruiting when we take them, hey, that is what it says. That's what the stats say. That's what the numbers say. That's what it bears out. Now, that's our goal, is that you're going to stay here until you're one of our 3 best players, and then we'll have a decision to make. Now, whether that every kid buys into that and every kid believes it, that's up to them and their family and their situation and all that. But, that's kind of how we are going about the process of having a pretty open and frank conversations with our guys about, hey, this is what you've done so far. This is what you've kind of set yourself up for. This is what we can do. How do you, what do you want to do? Is this what you want to be a part of or not?
And do you just approach that as a staff that you don't hold any grudge? Just say your best guy or your second best guy jumps in and says, well, maybe I do want to come back to that. Maybe I do. The money wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I mean, do you allow guys to have that leeway to go and see what's out there and then maybe eventually come back? A lot of coaches are kind of half and half on it. I've gotten that answer so far.
Yeah, I think there's a lot that goes into that. I don't think it's a blanket statement for me with every one of our guys that, hey, anybody can go in and anybody can come back. I think a lot of it has to do with who they are as people and their and what they have, the relationship and the character and those things, because we want to have the right people in our locker room. And so, that is not to say that every kid who goes in the portal to see how much they're worth is not the right person. And every kid who stays and doesn't go in the portal is the right person, right? It's an individual conversation with each guy, and some guys, they'll have that opportunity, I'm sure, and some guys won't. And it's not, it's not equal, but I think it's fair based on what they've built, the credibility and the equity they've built in our program.
Well, switching gears, we just talked about conference play, Coach. The conference, it just flips everything on its ear when you get into conference play. Is there ever anything tougher than when you were a player or coach to win conference games on the road? Doesn't matter the league. I don't care what the letters are in front of the league. it is the single toughest thing to do, isn't it, in college sports?
Yeah, it's really difficult, and it's there's so many reasons why, but there's the pride factor, right? Especially I think at the mid-major level, that there's this pride about, hey, we have to protect our home court. This is where we play. This is our place. We got to make sure that we are protecting this, and nobody wants to come back to their dorm after they lose a home game. That's different than the NBA. It's different than high school, where you go home to your parents. When you lose at home, you go back, and those kids who are cheering for you, they're your roommate, they're your next door neighbor. And so there is a definite pride factor that goes with protecting the home floor. And it is, like you said, it's everywhere. It's nationwide, that winning on the road in conference is so difficult. And, like I said, we go on the road for 2 this weekend, and it's, we are at that point where we've got to figure out, what does it take to go on the road and win a game in conference. We haven't done it yet, right? We're 0-3 in our 3 road conference games. And so, it's time to figure out exactly what we got to do and the type of attitude and intensity and effort that it takes. That's the biggest thing is, you got to have a level of resolve from the time you get off the bus that, hey, we're getting this done no matter what. And that's hard. It's hard for an 18, 19, 20, well, now 22, 23, 24-year-old young man to sustain that for, whatever, 3 or 4 hours that you're in the gym.
When it goes back to what you said about this trip that you have coming up, that's why it's such a significant thing, right? You can just turn the whole season on its ear if you come out with 2 dubs on that road trip.
No doubt.
Right? I mean, so, yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Well, we will we'll obviously be keeping up and following you guys as you get ready to continue on in the MAAC. And it's hard to believe we're already in the middle of January. It sounds like a cliche, but as soon as you flip the calendar, it flies, doesn't it, the season?
No doubt.
Crazy.
No doubt. The rhythm of conference play really moves you quickly through the year. There's very little time to catch your breath as you're always, preparing for the next game, and the next game's always right on the horizon. And it's awesome. It's what we one of the biggest reasons why we do this, especially at the mid-major level. The non-conference is important and it's great, but in these 1-bid leagues, we are all building toward being our best at the end of February and in March, and these conference games really help you to put yourself in a position to be successful then, but also to figure out kind of who you are and how you are at your best.
All right, real quick, who's going to win the football game on Monday night? Who you got, Miami or Indiana?
It would be really hard for me to see Indiana losing that game. I just, they're a juggernaut right now, and they don't seem to be fazed by too much. I hope it's close for the entertainment value, but I'm not sure it's going to be.
Yeah, they're pretty good, aren't they? They're pretty good.
They are.
Well, all right, brother. Listen, thanks for jumping on, man. We appreciate it as always. Always great to talk to you. And maybe we'll do this again here in a couple of weeks, see where things are heading in February. That's great.
Sounds good. Appreciate it, Rick. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man. Give my best to your fam. Take care, man.
Will do. Bye-bye.
All right. There you go. That's Coach Donny Lind or Mount St. Mary's. They're going through a very tough slate in the MAAC, Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, Northeastern schools, and a big road trip for him. So we're always pulling for him. He's just got such great answers, The realistic part of his outlook is very important, right? There's not any kind of hyperbole there. It's what the mindset he's had to adapt. It's awesome, man. It's awesome. And, last year he had the same mindset. And what did they do? They went on a run in February, won the title, and went to the NCAA tournament, won a game in Ohio and Dayton. It's awesome. Just awesome. Uh-oh. Morris says the chat has gone off the rails. He's blaming himself. What happened, Morris? What did you do? What did you do, Ray? That's Ghostbusters, by the way. You remember when Zool comes through and says, "You choose the summoner. The choice has been made." No, I didn't think of anything. Did you think of anything? No. Did you think of anything? No. Ray? Ray? What did you do, Ray? I couldn't help it. I thought of the most innocent thing from my childhood. Mr. Stay Puffed. Good stuff, man. Scroll up. You can buy sex, but you can't buy love. Is that the one? I asked everyone to give their best cliches. Archie Campbell said money can't buy happiness, but with enough of it, you can suffer a pretty good misery. Well, Prometheus says, my dad used to tell me when I was young, man makes money, money, money. Don't make the man. Yeah. And there's nothing I hate more than talking about money. I can't stand it. I hate when people start looking up what people make and they start talking about nothing. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I wish I had more of it, but I don't live my life by it. I'm with you. I could have left Radford a few times, but I didn't. Place that I love, my family, my kids, my alma mater, believe in what we're doing. Our goal, our mission still to this day, I believe in it. When we posted the highest athletics team GPA in the history of our school, even in this era, I'm very proud of that. I'm very close to a lot of our young people. I see how our coaches handle it, and it means a lot to me. It always has. I mean, this is 26 years I've been there, and that's not by accident. It's not because I couldn't have left. And there were 2 occasions where I thought I was gone. And you sleep on, you wake up, and you realize I'm never going to have as much affinity and love the next place as I'm going to where I'm at. And that's what it came down to for me. More money, to be sure. But at the end of the day, when you lay your pillow down, are you going to be able to go do your job the same way you do it for the place you love? And the answer, on both occasions where I thought I might go, I said no. There were a lot of times I would go and talk to people and interview, and I would go, I'm not going to do this, but at least you went through the experience. Yeah, that's a great point, TLB. Thanks, Morris. Yeah, somebody asked me what. Yeah, it's nobody. First of all, it's nobody's business, and I don't care what anybody else makes. Well, I won't say that. I don't like when people talk about what else they make. But yeah, Bill realized now there's a guy who truly came home. He wanted to go out west, UCLA. He didn't fit out there, didn't like it. It just didn't work. He came back eventually. Took him a while to get back, but he got back. It's just personal choice. Obviously, some people don't look at it that way, but I do. But anyway. Morris says the Super Bowl get-together will be special. Get to put the names with the faces. Yeah, I hope people come out. I think that's what we're looking at next weekend. I'll have to confirm it, short up. But we'll get Terry and Amanda involved. Morris, I sent you the information. Explain to them who you are. They won't know. You'll have to explain it all. They do know the show. They promote the show. But we would like to do something, and I'll mention it to Randy as well. And hopefully people will come over there. Maybe people can teach me how to bowl. I love the ball. I just roll the straight ball and hope I knock down enough pins. I never have been able to do the cool stuff with the ball. I know, buddy. I'm going to let you out in a second. It's Balboa Creed, raising utter hell to get outside. Oh, it'll be great for me. I hope you come. Hope everybody comes. Moore's going to explain it to him today. That'd be fun. I don't know how many lanes we'd have to get. I don't know any of that stuff. But anyway, I do know they're great people, and they've done a great job. And if you do come, You're going to enjoy the atmosphere there. They've spent a lot of money. Even if you've gone in the last year, you're not going to recognize it now, man. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. Hang on, buddy. I know. Creed is art. He's got the hunting hunt. You can't see it, but he's kind of got the hunting hutch walk going, man. He wants to get out. Thanks again to everybody. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel. I'll be heading out here a little bit later this morning to Boiling Springs. Speaking of Radford basketball, Radford Radio Network, tune us in. You can go online, find it immediately. Just click on the audio sign. Boom, we're right there. For me, he's going to be wearing his BDST shirt. And maybe that's where I can get people to come out too, and I can bring more shirts if you want to buy them, or I can finally give people shirts that there's a couple people I still haven't hooked up with yet that I have to. Creed smells the Bigfoot. He's just been in long enough. He's ready to go. He's ready to get out there in the wild. We'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what it'll look like. I think Andy Bitter will be okay. I don't know who else. I haven't gotten that far yet. Just trying to get through. Maybe David Smith. Trying to get through my trip today and tonight, getting back in the wee hours. So, Brian Oliver pulling out the Greenberg on me. I require $500 to make an appearance. That's pretty good. That's funny. I'm going to give you a star on that one. Yeah, he called me. Greenberg called me, wanted to be on the show, and then asked for $500. Wow. Just wow. Can't make it up. But yeah, he did that. Thank you, Opal. I will be as careful as I can. I will be as careful. What do you mean snow? Oh, please don't tell me they're trying to. Oh, my God. Are they really? Great. That's just great. I'll never understand, Opal, not picking on you, but I'll never understand the snow lovers when all it does is cause disruption and cause accidents and call power outages. My man, Kevin Myatt. Wednesday PM, Thursday AM, brush with snow west of the Blue Ridge. Mostly less than an inch. Oh, great. Facing the slopes of I-77. Yay! Guess where I'll be? This is why I hate winter, because I have to drive in. I think I hate it more than most people because I have to travel in it to go to games. Awesome. All right. Take care, everybody. Tune us in tonight. Good luck to the Highlanders. Good luck to the Hokies at SMU. Thanks for everything, everybody. You're great. And we'll see you tomorrow in some capacity, God willing, here on the program. Take care, everybody.